everybody. Thank you for going with the flow tonight. We really appreciate everything that you're doing to help us out on that. My name is Lee Drinkwine, and I'm one of the coordinators for tonight's event for the seniors. Welcome you to the Hopkins Raspberry Festival Senior Coronation and Dance. That's where you're all at, right? We hope you enjoyed your dinner, and I want to thank our generous sponsors for tonight's event. Always the Hopkins Activity Center, Susan Newville, Deb Bold, and their staff, as well as the Hopkins JCs. We also want to thank the Hopkins businesses, especially Heartstrings Bridal. They donated all of the chair covers and the beautiful sashes for us this evening to make this room look beautiful. We thank them for their continued support of the festival. A little bit about our sponsors. We all know the great job that the Hopkins Activity Center does for the senior community, but the Hopkins Activity Center also sponsors the Raspberry Festival Game Day, which was this last Sunday. In addition, they organized a great cruise on the beautiful Lake Minnetonka. And as usual, they have changed this room into a grand ballroom for you to dance tonight. All this special lighting, all these beautiful touches could not be possible without their help, and also probably the City of Hopkins. Speaking of table decorations, each year Linda and Regina and I come up with a theme. Tonight's theme is Beyond the Sea. It all helps this room look fabulous, your decorations on your table and everything else. Remember to think about the Hopkins Activity Center if you want to book an event, because they're certainly available. And you know, obviously, what they can do to make this room look great. I need a couple of people in the kitchen to come out here. Once again, your dinner tonight was served by the Hopkins JCs. I'm going to wait for them to come out. Hopefully they're not too long there. There they come. We're looking at Molly Ty, Kim Roush, and Pete Holovich. Thank you very much. Again, we could not do this event without your help. Thank you. Each year they put on aprons. Well, they didn't have their aprons on tonight. Keep the food hot and the kitchen clean so that Linda, Regina, and I can mingle with you. And again, we just want to thank them so much for their hard work and their support. And you already gave them a great round of applause, but let's give them one more. As many of you know that are involved in the festival organizations, it is completely a volunteer-based organization where people spend countless hours to bring you these events. We'd also like to recognize a few of our volunteers that are here, especially our board of directors. We have Jeff Dulac, he's on the camera. And we got Lugene Gleason, she's our executive director. I don't see Charlotte tonight. Anybody in a red shirt here tonight with a Raspberry Festival logo? We've got a couple more over here. Thank you again for all the work that you do to make the festival work without a hitch. I'd also like to thank Paige Bolger. She's our lady candidate coordinator. And she did a fine job recruiting our candidates. And they're here tonight to help clean up. They've already probably walked around and said hi to a lot of you. We got Paige over there. She's already stood up and gave us a nice raspberry wave. I do it again? Okay. And again, I want to thank the young ladies for helping out tonight. You're always very much appreciated for us. Okay, I know you're anxious to get back on the dance floor, and these guys here are going to earn their keep, keeping you guys busy. We first want to welcome our 2012-2013 Senior King, Dean Empinger, and Senior Queen, Mary Jo Molesky, as they lead us in the first dance tonight, Beyond the Sea. company. Thank you.
And once again, welcome to the Hopkins Raspberry Festival Senior Coronation. My name is Regina Aiken. Where Senior King Dean and Senior Queen Mary Jo say their goodbyes, and we announce and crown our new senior royalty. It is my pleasure to introduce to you Senior King Dean Eppinger and Senior Queen Mary Jo Molesky. Watch the cord. Just watch the cord. There you go. Sorry.
Can everyone hear me okay? Okay, Doug. I'm up a little bit. Okay. First of all, I'd like to thank everyone on the Raspberry Committee for selecting me Senior King this year for 2012 and 13. Had a really great time, a lot of good memories, a lot of fun parades. I'd like to thank Tiara, our Raspberry Queen, Princess Samantha, and Princess Jimmy Lynn, and our Junior Royalty, Junior Prince Bennett, Junior Prince Davia, Junior King Emmanuel, and Junior Queen Hannah. I'd like to thank the parents, too, for helping with the food and assembling the float, disassembling the float, and remodeling our float. You'll see it again in the parade. It's a totally different look than it was last year at the parade here in town. And I would be amiss if I didn't mention our drivers, Matt, Nick, and Jeff, who drove us to the parade. They drove the float. Good job, guys. And thank Aubrey and Charlie, too. We had many different swings in weather this year. From our third parade at Lester Prairie, Minnesota, it was 94, just about like today. Then we had Rockford, was 62 for high, so we went from summer to fall. And then we went to the Winter Carnival, where lucky if it was 5 or 10 above, and believe me, it was a cold parade. This year at Senior King has made me recall a lot of my memories. I went to South Junior High here 50 years ago, 1963 to 66. I can remember having our lunchroom here where the boys would be on one side of the table, the girls would be on the other side, and we got along. Sometimes we didn't talk to each other, but we got along. And my mother taught here from 1934 to 1944 in the elementary K through 9. The old part is now the apartment, just the front facade is there. She taught there till 1944. Then they had a rule in Hopkins where if you weren't married, you couldn't teach in Hopkins per se, so she went to Oak Knoll out on County Road 73. And my mom had Tiara's mother in second grade at Oak Knoll back in the 1970s, so that's kind of a small coincidence. Yeah. I have a lot of memories of this. Is a gymnasium. It was a boys and girls gymnasium. You see the dividers here? They would close it off during the day when we'd have half the boys would be on the other side and the girls would be on the other side. They'd try to get in, but they locked the door so we couldn't sneak a peek at each other. Yeah. And the boys' locker room was right behind you here. It's his raspberry room. That's our locker room. I can remember playing in the band at the band room down here, which is now the Historical Society. A lot of memories there, a lot of challenges with my friend who played the baritone. We challenged every week back and forth, and I think I won more than he did, but we had a lot of good times there. We had a tragic event happen. I'm sure all of you remember November 22nd, 1963. We were passing between classes in the junior high part, and news came over that John F. Kennedy was assassinated. Now the girls were crying, and all the boys were saying, "We can't believe it, we can't believe it." So it's 50 years ago, almost. I also have a good memory riding the fire truck in the shortest St. Patrick's Day parade in Hopkins. My dad was a volunteer fireman for 20 years, and I kept bugging him to give me a ride in the open cab fire truck. So when they took the fire trucks out on Thursday to keep the batteries charged, I would get a ride in the fire truck, and we'd blow the horn and the siren when we went up and down the neighborhoods. Then they didn't appreciate it too much, but we had a lot of fun. Overall, I've had a great experience for 2012 and 13, and I'll have a lot of good memories to cherish. Thank you, Raspberry Committee and Royal Family.
My name is Mary Josephine Molesky. I was married 63 years ago, and we had 4 great sons. Wayne, who is an A1 handyman, and Howard was a great drummer and had his own band, Prairie River, and he died almost 4.5 years ago with cancer. My 3rd son, Rick, has his own store in Brainerd, the Light Depot. And my youngest son has his own shop in Pillager, making beautiful cabinetry. I have 8 grandchildren, 7 boys and 1 girl. Howard had my only granddaughter. And I have 8 great-grandchildren, 7 boys and 1 girl. Wayne's son Blair had my only great-granddaughter. My husband had the building built at 645 13th Avenue South in Hopkins. He ran his business there for many years, Hopkins Radiator and Speedometer. Then my sons had it for a while. My husband also played the steel guitar, and I played accordion and bass. We played out for many years, old-time and country music. I am still playing my accordion, and will be playing with Al Johnson and Vern Drilling for the Ice Cream Social in Hopkins, August 12th at 6:30 p.m. Come and join us. I have no idea how I was chosen to be the 2012 to 2013 Senior Queen. It has been an honor and so many fun and interesting things. I had been sad for so long. My husband died of cancer 6.5 years ago. My son Howard died of cancer 4.5 years ago. And my sister Jeanette died of cancer at 86 years old, a little over 2 years ago. She worked full-time till she was 85 as a stenographer. This year as Senior Queen has made me happy again. I also tap dance with the Jazzberries of Hopkins, a wonderful group. Thank you so much for the opportunity to serve such a wonderful city. Also, many thanks for all their help to Senior King Dean Ampenger, Aubrey, Lee, Linda, and Regina. And I would also like to thank the Queen, TJ, and Princesses Samantha and Jimmy Lynn, and the fellows who drove us.
Thank you, Mary Jo, and thank you, Dean, for your great service this past year. For 79 years, the Hopkins Raspberry Festival has been a part of this great community. During the Depression, this festival was used as a business booster for farmers. The event was an informal gathering with a parade that featured a 40-piece marching band, clowns, and residents' trucks decorated as raspberries. Jim Markham, father of former Senior King John Markham, was the editor of the Hennepin County Review and got the word out to all. Even the mayor of Minneapolis issued a proclamation urging the citizens of Minneapolis to motor out to Hopkins and enjoy the hospitality of the greatest suburb of the Northwest. Besides, there were free raspberries and cream to be had. It wasn't until the 1960s that the king and the queen were added. A few raspberries continue to grow in Hopkins around the Depot Coffee Shop, and a special thank you go out to those volunteers that take care of that. We have such a great legacy here in Hopkins with the longest continuous running festival in Minnesota. At this time, I want to also remember one of our former senior king, Mr. Al DeCoste. Al would be celebrating his 85th birthday today, and we just want to tell you we love you and we miss you. Okay. We now want to recognize some very important people from our reigning royal family, the juniors, the young ladies. If you would all stand and wave. You have done a great job representing Hopkins this past year, and we thank you. The junior coronation will be held here, right here at the Hopkins Activity Center tomorrow night starting at 7 p.m. with a reception and dance following. The young lady candidates are here tonight, and they were helping us out. We wish them the best as they prepare for their coronation, which is on Thursday, July 18th, starting at 7 p.m. at the Hopkins Center for the Arts, Stages Theater. The Royal Ball will be held immediately following the Grand March, and that's an annual favorite among Hopkins and all the visiting royalty. We are honored to have with us tonight the City of Woodbury. Thank you for coming. And our neighbors from St. Louis Park. Thank you again for coming. And right now I'd like to introduce the members of the Minneapolis Aquatennial, if they want to come up and say a word or two about the Aquatennial, which is going on simultaneously with us. Why don't you come that way? There you go. Yeah.
Good evening, and thank you very much for inviting us. My name is Bruce Humphreys. I'm the Senior Commodore for the Minneapolis Aquatennial. And I always travel in the finest of company with our senior queen, Judy Harding, our senior princess, Roxanne Denisiuk, and senior vice commodore, Terry Hoppenrath. I grew up in St. Louis Park, so most of what I remember about Hopkins was basketball games where St. Louis Park and Hopkins would usually split. And as I remember, being short, I never played basketball, but I was up in the stands. As I remember, Hopkins usually won. So my congratulations to the city of Hopkins. Your Highness, Dean mentioned in his presentation something that a lot of people of our age often reflect upon, and that is the assassination of President Kennedy. And those of us who are old enough to remember those days always seem to remember where we were on that day. I have a special location where I was on that day. I was a radio operator on Air Force One for President Kennedy, and I was in Dallas on Air Force One at the assassination. And after we got back to Washington, I and several of the operators were sort of out of a job, and we just sort of hung around the Air Force for a while. But it was a momentous occasion in everybody's life. Now, I'm supposed to tell you about Aquatennial. So, I know that tomorrow night you're going to be pretty busy with the junior coronation, so I won't even mention the torchlight parade coming on tomorrow night at 8:30 downtown. Does anybody here remember the Spice Girls, the rock group in Britain? We've got their limousine. We are riding the Spice Girl limousine. So if you have a chance after your junior coronation tomorrow night, come on downtown Minneapolis on Hennepin Avenue and wave at us. We'll be waving back to you from the Spice Girls limousine. Friday night is the Queen of the Lakes coronation at the Ted Mann Center on the University of Minnesota campus. And then Saturday night is the Target fireworks show beginning about 10:15 near the Stone Arch Bridge. And there's lots more Aquatennial events that you can still get into. We are celebrating the best days of the summer, and we'd like to invite you all out. Thanks very much for having us tonight.
We would also like to acknowledge all the Hopkins Raspberry Festival past senior royalty. If you are here, please stand when your name is called and be recognized. Alan and Judy Johnson, 2010-2011. Joan Markham, 2009-2010. Dodie Moore and Joseph Obermeyer, 2008-2009. Marilyn Johnson, 2007-2006. Joan DeCoste, 2005-2006. Carol Ann Carlson, 2004-2005. And my special favorite, because she was in our year, Annette Marie Pischel, 2003-2004. We are celebrating our 10th anniversary this year. Lorraine Beaversdorf, 2001-2002. Joy Brinwell, 1995-1996. And Dorothy Pavelka, the tap dancing queen, 1993 and 94. Thank you again for all your involvement with the Raspberry Festival. I hear it's time for our junior royalty to say some final words to Senior King Dean and Senior Queen Mary Jo. So if they would like to come up here, I'd like to have Junior Prince Bennett, Junior Prince Divya, Junior King Emmanuel, and Junior Queen Hannah. If you want to come up here. Just watch the cord, hon.
Thank you to Senior Queen Mary Jo and Dean for being very respectful, kind, and having very nice manners. Thanks for being in the Raspberry Festival with me.
King Dean, you have been a wonderful person to know. You always took such good care of us kids on the float, even pushing the merry-go-round when it got stuck once. Queen Mary Jo, to me, you always look like a fairy godmother with a twinkle in your eyes and a kind smile on your face. You both have been a great king and queen, and I am happy to have you both a part of our royal family.
Senior Queen Mary Jo and Senior King Dean, thank you for being our family Raspberry grandparents.
Dean, thank you for keeping the merry-go-round spinning when it stopped in the middle of a parade. Mary Jo, thank you for standing in the shade with me at the Hot Ellsworth Cheese Curd Festival. It was always fun to visit with you.
And now for some final thoughts from our young ladies. Princess Jimmy Lynn Roush, Princess Samantha Anderson, and Queen Tiara Gowan. Right?
Hello, I am the Hopkins Raspberry Festival Princess, Samantha Anderson. I could take up the whole night telling you about these amazing two individuals over here. From the laughs, to the hugs, to the blazing heat, to the snow globe ride at Winter Carnival, my year would not be as memorable without you two. Mary Jo, every time I look at you, I'm inspired. You are an amazing woman, and I hope to be at least half the woman you are. Whenever you are around, I can't have anything else on my face except a smile. You have shown me if you put your heart and soul into something, anything is possible. I love you very much, and we need to stay in touch. Dean, aka Dean the Man. You made every parade route more exciting with your commentary. You always knew how to brighten the mood with just a joke. Thanks for always telling us about the roadkill on the side of the road on the way to parades. You are too funny, and we will need to get together soon. I don't think many of you understand how hard this can really be, saying goodbye, but not really goodbye, to these two seniors. They were amazing this whole year, and it's hard not to cry. But get ready, because you two are in my family for good, and I'm extremely lucky to have you both. I love you, and thank you for everything.
Good evening. I'm Princess Jimmy Lynn Rouse. We have had the honor of having two of the best seniors we could have asked for. My favorite memory of Dean is our time spent together on the float. Since we sit the closest together, I am able to listen to his conversations throughout parades. Dean, Dean, always remember to wave and smile, even though I tell the juniors to do that. I'll miss being invited to Old Country Buffet with you. Mary Jo, I couldn't envision a better senior queen for our royal family. Your constant compassion and concern for others is something I hope to emulate someday. I'll miss seeing you in all of your different fashionable jewelry at each event. You are the queen. And thank you both for a memorable year. I'll miss you both a lot. I love you, and remember, it's not goodbye. It's see you later.
Good evening. I'm the Hopkins Raspberry Festival Queen, Tiara Gowan. Smiling and happiness are two words that come to mind when thinking about our extraordinary seniors. Without them, our royal family would not be complete. This year, we had two of the best seniors. They toughed it out during the blizzarding Winter Carnival night parade and kept smiling faces during our blazing hot summer parades. Whether Dean is commentating during pictures or Mary Jo is fitting Raspberry into her very busy schedule, they still keep a positive attitude and always stay smiling and filled with joy. Dean, I love that we drive the same car. The only difference is our color and that I have subs. Also, I thoroughly enjoyed our 20-minute conversation on pennies and how much interest you took in my 1914 penny. I'm going to miss you during every picture when you would say something funny to make our smiles even brighter. Mary Jo, you make the best rolls, and you're very, very fashionable. You definitely know how to accessorize. Literally, Mary Jo, when you smile, we smile, because we know how much this year meant to you, and it meant a lot to us to have you a part of it. Mary Jo, you are one of the sweetest people I have ever met, and I feel honored to have you in my life and as my senior queen. I'm going to miss your hugs and how lucky you are. Words cannot describe how grateful I am to have both of you a part of the unforgettable memories we made this past year. We may no longer do parades and events together, but we are a family that will go down in Raspberry history. I love you both. Farewell, my seniors.
Thank you to our Raspberry Festival royalty. Now I'll ask Dean and Mary Jo to come back up here because it's time to introduce our new senior ambassadors for 2013-2014. Our senior king candidate moved to Hopkins in 1982. He was transferred here from Cedar Rapids, Iowa as a food manager for Bishop's Buffet in Knollwood Mall. While living in Hopkins and then working for Cardinal Glass in St. Louis Park, he noticed a sign one day in front of the old fire station located on 11th Avenue, which is now part of the police station. The sign read, "Volunteers wanted, inquire within." It was one of the best decisions he said he ever made, except, of course, for the birth of his son, Justin. He became part of the great Hopkins Fire Department for 15 years and retired as battalion chief.
Shortly after that, he became a fire degree instructor at Hennepin Technical College, which he's been doing ever since for the past 15 years. With the persuasion of Dave Kloshek, who was the fire chief of the department 19 years ago, he and 5 other firefighters joined the Elks Lodge so they could be even more involved with the Hopkins community. He currently holds the position of esteemed leading knight with the Elks and is training for the exalted ruler position next year. Ladies and gentlemen, we would like to introduce our new Raspberry Festival Senior King, Douglas Derland. Okay, you want to come around here? We will help you. No, right up front here. Just go right up front here. Our new senior king, Douglas Derland. Yes. Our senior queen candidate has been enjoying the Raspberry Festival since she moved to Hopkins area in 1965. She enjoys family days, the tent dance, parade, and fireworks, but misses the large sales they used to have during crazy days in downtown Hopkins. She has 6 children, 20 grandchildren, and 6 great-grandchildren, with 2 more on the way. She recently moved into downtown Hopkins and enjoys walking to the various businesses for her items. After many years of raising her children, she became employed at Cheapskate Roller Rink in Minnetonka. Moving up through the various positions, she finally became an assistant manager, eventually became known as Sarge, or Dragon Lady. Now she's employed with Protective Life Insurance Company as an administrative assistant, where she's just known by, I'm not going to say it, it's just by her first name, still a secret. She enjoys reading, baking, bingo, traveling, and being involved with the Roller Garden Artistic Skating Club. For many years, she's watched the Raspberry Festival Parade, hoping to be in it like her children were. Now, they will get to sit on the curb and sweat as she breezes by in her tiara. She's very excited to represent the town of Hopkins as the senior queen. Ladies and gentlemen, we would like to introduce our new Raspberry Festival senior queen, Teresa Sidness. Our new Raspberry Senior Queen, Teresa Sidness, and Senior King, Doug Derland. Give us a raspberry wave, folks. We would like to thank you all for coming tonight, and we hope you're enjoying yourselves. We will be serving a variety of desserts and coffee in the dessert buffet, and we want to extend a big thank you as well to the big band sound of Dick Macko for our music tonight. We hope that you'll stay and enjoy yourselves. In the second half of our dance, we'll begin with our new Senior King Douglas and Senior Queen Teresa leading the way. Thank you all for coming, and have a wonderful evening and enjoy the festival.
to the King and Dean. Everybody was out eating dessert. They're hard like that. They're